All right, we are reading the book called The Ball Book today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that so everyone can hear that book today. The Ball Book. Footballs, meatballs, eyeballs, and more balls. This is written by Joshua David Stein, and the illustrations are by Marcus Oakley. The Ball Book. Footballs, meatballs, eyeballs, and more balls. Pinball, baseball, cue ball, 8-ball. A pinball's small and made of metal. A baseball's hard and made of leather. Pool is a game not played in the water, in which one ball is meant to hit the others. So this game of pool, some people call it billiards, where you hit the cue ball, right here, this white one, and you try to hit the other number balls and try to make them go into the holes or pockets. Eyeball, football, softball, golf ball. An eyeball sees a football tossed, a softball is pitched, a golf ball is lost. Can you find the lost golf ball? It is over behind this first tree. Gerbils are fur balls. Pitchers throw curve balls. Ping pongers serve balls. Some balls bounce and some balls don't. These guys are playing bocce ball. Some balls sink and some balls float. Some balls float up toward the moon if you think balls include balloons. Balls can be juggled. Balls can be dropped. Some balls you kick. Some balls you stop. Some balls you hit with a racket, like this tennis ball. Some balls you throw in a basket. A snowball is snow until you pack it. Some balls you eat. Some balls you chew. Matzo balls, meatballs, and gumballs too. Now that you know how to use them, all the balls are yours to choose from. Just bring your ball, big or small, to party under the disco ball. It's very sparkly. So, usually a pinball is made of hard, shiny steel. Pinballs are the size of large marbles. In fact, pinballs were marbles when the game was first invented. The name pinball refers not to just the ball, but to the game itself, which is played on a pinball machine, a sort of crazy table with bright lights and loud sounds. A baseball is about the size of an orange and weighs as much as a large banana. It's made of cork, wrapped in yarn, wrapped in leather, and then stitched together. Each ball is hand-stitched in a factory in Costa Rica, which produces over 2.4 million balls a year for the Major League Baseball. Full balls come in sets of 15 brightly colored numbered balls. The most important are the cue ball and the 8-ball. Players hit the cue ball, the only white ball, into the other balls atop a pool table with a long wooden stick called a cue. The eyeball is about the size of a large grape and weighs as much as a single slice of bread. The front of the eyeball has a colored iris with a black spot in the middle called the pupil. Light enters through the pupil and into the back of the eyeball, which acts like a screen onto which an image of what you see is projected. The human eyeball can distinguish between about 10 million colors. Football. American football is not round. It is instead almond-shaped. Though often called pigskins, footballs used in professional games are made of cowhide. The footballs used by the NFL, the American Professional League, are made by hand in a small factory in Ada, Ohio, where workers hand-stitch nearly 4,000 footballs a day. A tennis ball is about the size of an apple. Early tennis balls were made of wool wrapped in leather, but these days tennis balls are made with rubber and filled with air. Tennis balls used to be black or white, but now they're covered in bright green felt so you can see them better on television. A softball is one of the most popular team sports in America. The sport began as a type of indoor baseball. The first softball was a boxing glove tied into a ball, and the first field was a gym in Chicago. Today, however, softball is played outdoors and has similar rules to baseball. The golf ball. The earliest golf balls were made of wood and dated back thousands of years ago. Over the years, golf balls have been made of cow hair, called hairy balls, leather-wrapped feathers, called feathery balls, and sap from the gutta percha tree, called goody balls. Today's golf balls are made of rubber with a hard, dimpled shell. Ping pong ball. Ping pong was developed in the dining rooms of the Victorians, and it gets its name from the sound the ball makes as it bounces back and forth on a ping pong table. Ping pong uses a small, hol- Ping pong uses a small, hollow, and very light ball that is hit by small wooden rackets. Today's balls are made of plastic, but they used to be made out of hair and even champagne corks. Now, a gerbil, that's a small mammal, often kept as pets and treasured for their cute, furry coat and adorable little faces. There are actually over 110 types of gerbils, but the most common household pet is the Mongolian gerbil. Bouncy ball, made of pink rubber and hollow on the inside. The bouncy ball is about the size of a tennis ball without the fur. Since it bounces high off concrete and other hard surfaces, it has long been popular with city kids who used it for games of handball, stoop ball, and stickball. Bocce ball, one of the oldest games in the world. Bocce, pronounced Ba-chi, began with the Egyptians nearly 7,000 years ago. The balls must be heavy and cannot bounce. The idea is to throw one ball as close as you can to another. Today, the game is very popular all around the world. It is known as bocce in Italy and pentacue in France and boccia in South America. Now, the bowling ball. Modern bowling with 10 pins at the far end of a smooth wooden lane became popular when your grandparents were kids. Bowling balls used to be made of wood. Today, they're made of plastic. A bowling ball can weigh anywhere from 6 to 16 pounds. Then we have our beach ball. Lightweight and large, the beach ball floats in water and moves slowly through the air. The beach ball is made of 6 brightly colored plastic panels and is inflated, which means filled with air. Today, most beach balls are made in Yiwu, a small city in eastern China. And then we have a balloon. The word balloon comes from the French word balloon, meaning a large ball. Generally speaking, balloons float in the air. Today, balloons are used not just at birthday parties, but to help meteorologists predict weather and adventurous travelers around the world. Doctors used tiny balloons during operations to save lives. And juggling balls. A juggler can juggle anything from toasters to torches, but juggling balls are the easiest to use. These small, soft balls are usually made with rubber and filled with millet, a type of grain. They do not bounce, and they're easy to catch. The most important thing is that there should be at least 3 of them. A soccer ball with 32 black and white panels was designed back when your parents were kids by Audie Dassler, who also founded the sneaker company Adidas. The black and white pattern made it easier to see the ball on black and white television. Traditionally, the ball was made of leather. The panels were sewn together around puffed up pig's bladder. Today, both parts are made of rubber. Basketball. More than 100 years ago, a teacher at a Massachusetts YMCA training school invented this game to keep cooped up kids active during the winter by tossing soccer balls into a peach baskets in the gym. Basketball was born. Over the years, the ball has gotten larger and lighter. Today, the official basketballs are bright orange and weigh about as much as 3 hamsters. A snowball. A snowball is just a bunch of snowflakes rolled and packed together. The best snow for making a snowball isn't too cold or too warm. As you roll the snow, new snow sticks to the old, forming a ball. This inspired the term snowball effect. Now, a matzo ball, also spelled matzah and matzol, is a type of cracker eaten by Jews during a holiday called Passover, when eating bread is forbidden. However, matzo balls made from ground-up matzos mixed with egg are served year-round, often in chicken soup. There is a debate about whether they should float or sink, but this can be resolved by using a shallow bowl. A meatball. Meatballs are ground meat rolled into the shape of a ball. They exist in many cuisines of the world. In Italy, they are called polpette. In Morocco, kofta. In Sweden, they are called kuppiger. And in China, they are called lion's heads and served with lettuce, which looks like the lion's mane. Gumball. For thousands of years, chewing gum has come from the sap of the sapodilla tree. The gumball, however, with its brightly colored candy coating, was invented more recently. The world's largest gumball was made by a man named Barry between 2006 and 2012. He made it out of 95,200 pieces of already chewed gum. The disco ball is a spinning ball covered in tiny mirrors, which is usually hung from a ceiling. When the light shines on the disco ball, thousands of points of light reflected off its mirrors, and a party occurs. Disco balls became popular in the discotheques of the 1970s. Well, I hope you guys learned a few of the different things about balls. If you listened all the way to the end about all the different types of balls, if you have a variety of balls at your house, gather about 5 together and put them in order from the smallest to the largest. And then maybe you could sort it a different way and do it by the lightest to the heaviest.